Morning all. It's Thursday the 17th of September. This is probably day 5? I don't know. Yeah, let's say 5. Day 5 of my trip, and in case you've decided to pick this particular episode to just jump in the middle of the series, today I have to cross that river on foot. Yeah, I mean, so I'm back out around the beach a bit further around, so I'm going to go back up to found somewhere to snooze for the evening, which was lovely. Not as noisy as you'd think. Actually, that sea, it was quite soothing in a way. Still slept. I think I found a secret for sleeping well. And really overinflate that air mattress. You can't let up at all because my body's quite big and heavy. So if you don't completely fill it to almost bursting, then it just lets you down on the hip area. Anyway, so today's plan is to wait for this tide to go out. There's currently high tide again. I know I'm brilliant at this. I did see it go out. I did see it somewhat out late last night. It must have been about 11 or 10ish, and it was quite far out. So it does have quite a lengthy tidal range, this river, which is what I'm counting on. So around 11:47 precisely, I shall begin my ascent, descent, traverse, board, crossing. I don't know, whatever. Operation. Oh my God, who didn't build a bridge here? Background the little slip that we saw yesterday. I'll go back around there in a minute and show you as well. But before that, I've got it's 7 now, 7 something or other. Is it? What time is it? It's 7:22. I've discovered that if you drag the top of the screen, you can carry on recording. I have to stop recording, then go and look at the clock, and then come back. It's really clever. So we just drag the edge in like that. Yes. So 7:22. The crossing is 11:47. That gives me about 4 hours to kill. So I'm going to just casually saunter back over to the slip road and then back up the hill inland to where I saw signs to some toilets and a seasonal cafe, whatever that means. Lots of salt and pepper, I assume. And so I'm going to go and at least fill my water tanks, because, extra 2 kilograms of water is just what you need for a treacherous barefoot river crossing. And possibly if that cafe's open, I'll be able to get some food or some breakfast or something. Just a while away in the morning. I mean, it's seasonal. I mean, I don't know. Depends who you ask, really, around here, what the season is. I think the season is widely regarded as definitely over after the end of September, but we are mid-September at the moment. Some things have already stopped and shut. So the Kreml ferry from Cornwall into Plymouth, that was on winter timetable. So already that started about a couple of days before I got there. So yeah. It'll be a challenging day, assuming I survive the ordeal of the river, which I'm a bit trepidatious about, to be honest. Then I've got to go up and all along those cliff tops, and basically, as soon as I finish that river crossing, the clock starts, because I then have to cross the next river. The next river is at Bigby-on-Sea, quite an unlikely name, which is up and around those, about 4 miles away, around along that cliff path across the other side there. And I'm going to have to get my stomp on, because the last ferry there is at 4 p.m. They're obviously on winter time as well by now. So 4 p.m, assuming I'm finished faffing around, get the ferry, get my wading done by about, let's charitably assume it'll take me half an hour of faffing about, one way or another. 11:47, I could be done there by about 12:30 probably, and then I got about 3.5 hours to hoof it 4 miles. Now 3.5 hours and 4 miles is not that difficult. I'm not too worried about that, although it's going to be out, but then that's my every waking step now at the moment, so that's okay. Once I cross the ferry at Bigby at sea, Bigby would ideally be a fantastic place to stop and get some lunch and just generally stock up and replenish and so on. But of course, the ferry's on the far side of the town, which means I'm going to have to just run for it. Maybe, if I'm lucky, buy a bottled water or something on the go, and then get straight to that ferry. Cannot miss the ferry, because the alternative there is just like another sort of 8-mile inland estuary trail, which I don't really want to take. And that will almost definitely bump me a day on my schedule if I miss that ferry. After that, there's another ferry, but then that's a problem for tomorrow, to be honest. So, and by the looks of it, that ferry at Salcombe seems to operate between 2 halves of a quite large village. So I think that's generally a much more regular timetabled sort of thing. It's not just catering to itinerant hikers. But I reckon I'll probably hit that ferry around midday, early afternoon anyway. So yeah, once I've passed the ferry at 4 o'clock over on Big B, I can then take the foot off the accelerator a little bit and just try and coast along. See, I would have been trying to reach Big B by the end of last night, but obviously this river situation turned up. So, but I'm only 3 or 4 miles short, and I'd normally be about a mile or two looking for a campsite anyway. So today, technically, I'm trying to get to Salcombe, but I'm obviously not going to get all the way to Salcombe today, because that's a whole other day stage from Big B to Salcombe. So I'll probably get about halfway or something. Not too worried about what the general itinerary or timetable looks like now. It'll be Friday. It'll probably be Saturday now. Looking at it, Saturday's finish at Torcross. This whole river situation has basically burnt up my bonus half-day start that I got by arriving at Par and just getting off the train and starting on the hiking. So it all averages out in the end. I doubt I'll need to run into Sunday. I hope not. Anyway, I could quite do with a day off after all this before I have to shuffle across my flat to work. That's the nice thing about working from home. The commute's nice. So yeah, I mean, working from home situation means that I can just hobble about my flat with flaming, puffy, swollen feet for a week or so, and it won't really impact my work at all. So that's a bonus in a way. So yeah, I'm going to. It's getting a bit windy. So it's a bit windy. It's a bit cooler than yesterday, and apparently when I make my crossing, it'll be sunny and about 18 degrees. So that's better than 24, I think, with no wind. So although I don't want it to be so windy, it's going to start pushing me off balance. I really don't know what to expect. I mean, obviously I've seen the full tide river. We'll probably see it again by the time I stomp over there again. Presumably the low tide river is a much different prospect. Otherwise they wouldn't seriously recommend people walk across it. But yeah, going to be an experience one way or another. Which is one reason I didn't want to bail and just get a taxi or try and walk around it. I want to try it, give it a go. I feel it's like a part of the path, So far I have done all of the path. There's only one or two very, very small sections, like, a couple of 100 metres, where they've had to divert you into a field because the cliffs dropped away and the path's actually in the sea. So that's reasonable. But I've not, taken any shortcuts so far. I've not bailed on any legs of it. I've done the whole thing. So I'm quite pleased with that, quite proud of that. So this is part of the path. The inland detour is not part of the coast path. It's not like an alternative route. This is it. Otherwise, I probably might be considering an alternative route. But no, I want to do the whole thing. It reminded me of that when I reached Weymouth and Portland Bill. Yeah, there's a whole extra optional day there that I probably will find myself compelled to take. There were so many opportunities to cheat in Plymouth as well. There were ferries connecting all sorts of different parts of that city to each other. I could have saved myself about 8 miles probably if I'd have taken the most optimum ferry routes available. But I didn't. Stumped along, did the whole thing. It's important to me. Right, anyway, I'm going to get hoisted up and then get back over to the wharf and then try looking for this inland cafe, toilets thing. It's obviously going to be way too early for anything. Probably don't even be trying to get up there until about 10, but time to kill, lots of time to kill at the moment. About half a day at the moment, so yeah. And I am really running out of water again. I'm getting through a lot this week. Must be the heat. Well, it's a cafe of some sort. Seems not to be open yet. I mean, obviously because it's 7:45 in the morning on a Thursday. Doggy dating area. All right, I've heard about those. Let's just keep walking, shall we? These toilets are for the customers. Yes. Time do you open? Is there a sign? So there's some toilets around the back there that I can use as part of the public. They're going to fill me water, certainly. Assuming the sinks aren't tiny and the wrong shape. Oh, good. Ominous clouds. Hopefully they'll clear a bit by the time D-Day gets here. Honestly, what a fuss. Should have just gone to Sicily again, that was nice. They had a volcano and everything. So yon schoolhouse restaurant thing there doesn't open until 11, which is way too late for me. Not have time to have a relaxing breakfast and then sprint down here and plunge across the river. So filled up the water tanks and I'm ready to go. Of course it's, you know, still only 8 o'clock, so did pass a sign saying no camping on the beach as well, back up there somewhere in the car park, but I came in the other way so I didn't see that. Plus I wasn't really on the beach, I was sort of up on the grassy bit further along. So you know, people give up a big old fuss about wild camping, right? But look at this. That bin is literally oozing with small black bags of dog shit over the top and out the sides. Dog walkers, they're the real menace. But no, someone has it in for a quiet, unassuming chap with a tent who packs away and tidies up after himself and is gone by daylight. Anyway, here we go again. So today is the 17th September, midnight 27. No, oh yeah, there we go, 12:24. So that's low water itself. It says it's safe to go an hour either side, so I want it to be 11:48. And we are going to do that. Basically walk to the other clearly marked, clearly visible wharf along what looks to be a sandbar. Actually, for the majority, it's just this piece on the end that's going to be the challenging section, I think. Once we get to there, we're going to have to properly wade. Don't know if I want shoes off for the whole crossing or whether I want to just... No, because I don't want to have to be able to sit down on the sandbar that's probably still wet and muck about with socks and relacing. No, I think it's going to be barefoot the whole way, I think. It's going to have to be the way. It's warming up a bit, which is good. Hopefully this cloud cover will lift and it'll be its usual bloody blazing self a bit later, which will help me on my crossing. Wind's not too high, but then, you know, like I say, I don't think there's going to be so much water that I have to deal with surface waves. So, God, oh my God, why is there no bridge? A zip wire or something, you know? Improvised chain ferry, monkey bars. I don't know, something. This is madness. Anyway, there it is again. Today's the day. Operation, what the hell am I doing here? Yeah, the path continues over there. It's a long way away. I have to see this low tide to believe it. I should have popped round here last night or something, but I wouldn't have seen much. It was about midnight, so. Well, it's already further out than yesterday, if you look. I think I was there at exactly high tide yesterday when I was despairing on the jetty yesterday. No, already there's a lot more sand than there was. Guess I get to gradually watch that go further and further out throughout the morning. I've got some nuts. I think I might have another pack of those. Got enough water, because remember I'm going to have to foot down and power on when I get on the other side, so 2 litres ought to get me to Bigby. And hopefully I'll have enough. I'll get there in time to at least buy a lemonade or something before I have to cross. Hopefully there's something on the other side of the ferry, because once I've done that ferry I can relax a bit, dawdle, have a cream tea or something, I don't know. Still, saving myself at least £4 by crossing this river on foot. Got to look on the bright sides, Tim. Silver linings. People do this all the time, I think, apparently, so I'm told. I don't know. I was surfing online because there was some quite good reception last night where I was. So mobile data and stuff. So I was surfing a bit for a few previous walkers' accounts on blogs and forums and things. And they all say it's all right. It is knee deep at the worst if you time it right. There was also 1 or 2 stories of absolute horror and disaster as well that involved like something that they're called the trespass route, which I'm not too keen on. Apparently, if you break into a load of private estates up here, there is a footbridge about 2 miles upstream, and you come back down the other side. But there's no paths, so you're basically just hacking through people's bracken and, you know, private land. Not the sort of thing I want to condone. Probably not the sort of thing that's necessary. The signboard over there tells you there's a 7-mile road route to go there. And most people were just complaining that they got here the wrong time. They gave up, they called a taxi. Taxi cost about 40 quid or something. So, yeah. But I've done I've done no planning at all, let's face it. I didn't even know this bloody crossing was here until 2 days ago. So So I have no idea of it when I set out. If I had known, I probably would have bought some flip-flops. Just hang them on the back of the backpack, wear them across this bit, done. But things you learn, because I'm probably never going to come back this way again. I don't see myself doing the Pool to Minehead return route anytime soon. I mean, yeah, it would be enjoyable, certainly. It'd be lovely, but I've seen it all before. This is one of the things I'm loving about this trip, is the one-way through route nature of it all. You climb a bloody great hill, you think, oh, right, good, I don't have to climb back down that one again, or vice versa. You get stumbling down this massive hill, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to have to climb that to get back to the car. You are just one way, you'll never see these places again. Unless you come back and visit highlights in a more comfortable and civilised manner. But I'd rather spend the time doing an entirely different thing, I don't know, Welsh Coast Path, Pennine Way, whatever. Oh, footprints, that's me, that big one there. And that's someone else in barefoot who's already been here this morning. Don't know how long. But yeah, I mean, why do the same 640 miles again when you could do an entirely different 640 miles? So yeah, I don't know what my point is really. I'm going to stop talking because I've got like 4 hours to kill here now and I don't want to use up all my phone memory storage, battery and stuff. But yeah, that is definitely going out now, so that's good. I just have to sit and watch it do so. So there's what it looks at 8:45. Here's how it looks at 9:13. I can start to see some stand poking out actually. This may not be a futile, doomed suicide attempt after all. 9:45, still waiting for my lunar gravitational assist. We're actually much further now actually. A lot more of it happening out of the water, sandbars forming. This may not be suicide after all. So, 10:10, it's really looking much better now, much more possible. So I think the problem is going to be the deep channel at the far side. I probably still do need to wait until like 10 to 12 or whatever before I actually try that far bit, because I think that's going to be where all the water generally flows. This is all just sandbank, so that should be easy enough to cross. But yeah, to get to the actual jetty on the far end, looks to be quite a deep river there still, so I'll probably want to wait until the specified time to do it properly. So I think that's going to be like waist deep at the moment, or probably chest deep. I don't know, we'll see. Give it the appropriate time and wander over. There it is, an hour to go. Looking good, but that section on the very far bank still probably quite deep, so probably all the way to the approved time. Yeah, clouds are gone, sun's up. A bit windy, but two other hikers there. Look, the day trippers there look like they're waiting to go for it. So I could make them go ahead, and then if they disappear, I can go around where they were. Anyway, more waiting to do, and then some wading. Well, that looks like they're off. I get to watch their progress carefully because they're actually an hour ahead of when it said they should be, when it says you should be doing it. Yeah, so far so good. Across the sand flats, all dry over there. I'm hoping there's no stones and stuff in the middle because it's going to be quite uncomfortable barefoot with my feet. So far so good. Good luck. I'm counting on both of you. You've only got rolled up knees. I'm also not anticipating having to put all the gear on a raft or anything. Lots of people out and about on the estuary anyway, wandering around on the various sandbars. Just not seen anybody make an actual crossing yet. So I'll have to see. I'll keep an eye on how they get on. It's quite a long way. 40 minutes to go. I lost sight of the two who went across. I don't know if they made it or not. It's all gone round the end. So I don't know if that was on this side or that side of the deep water from this distance. So I'm not sure. So, still going out. It will be for another hour and another 2 hours. I think it'll still be going out. But it might be deep enough to make a start. I don't know. Shallow enough rather. Let's go and have a look. So I'm kind of committed once I get out there, get my shoes off and start trooping across. Oh, well, let's just see, won't we? Alright, I'm going to start making some preparations. Here we go. Okay, so we've moved along a bit. I need to strike off across here, to be honest. It doesn't look much of a problem. Sand goes most of the way out, but then there is the deep channel on the far end. So it's going to be shoes and socks off, and string around my neck. Got a sort of waterproof pouch here for the phone, so that should be alright. And just crack on, give it a go, see what happens. About 40 minutes early, but I think we'll probably be alright. I've got quite long legs, you know, knee deep on me is actually about thigh deep on most people, so it's all good. Alright, I'm going to de-shoe and talk to you in a minute. Well, so far so good. Wind's getting up a bit though. Perhaps more so when I reach around that headland. Yeah, I'm really here. This is going to be the hard bit up ahead. And cold, I imagine, too. So it looks like it's divided into 3 main channels, with some sort of sandbar thing in the middle. I don't have to go to go specifically to the jetty. I suppose the wider the section is, the less deep it's going to be, in theory. It's quite soothing on the old toes, actually. It's all sand at the moment, no mud. Not sinking too much. Okay, so that stuff's only just come out. There's all birds sat on it. Yeah. Here we go. Right, now I really don't want to be holding a camera when I do this bit, so I shall probably have to update you when I get the other side of this section here, because this does look quite deep and it's going to be cold. Let's see, I'll just get to the sandbar. Yeah, maybe. Do I have to wait another 15 minutes? In theory, well, what's the time? Yeah, in theory I should be waiting another 20 minutes in theory, but I suppose I've got long legs and it won't matter too much. That does look all a bit pebbly as well. It's going to be uncomfortable. Alright, well, I'm going to have to stick you in your little waterproof pocket. Godspeed. Ta-da! Mission safely accomplished, more or less. I think that's the other 2 I saw going upriver, having a go finally. I think it was a bit too deep now. It's just about right now, I think. I only got to, well, shin deep, I think. Well, there's a section just here between that little island I found myself on and the that section there runs quite deep, so I have to come up to here where it's a bit flat, it's a bit shallower. Yeah, it's alright, yeah, it's quite cool, but mainly it's full of very small sharp stones, which made the whole experience quite unpleasant. But it takes your mind off how cold or deep it might be, certainly. Yeah, you just have to hobble your way across, really. I need to let my feet dry a bit and then get ready for a bit of a hikey blast up to the next place now. 4 hours, I've got a bit of a jump start there. So yeah, it's 11:32 now, and I wasn't really even going to start until 11:48, so got myself an extra 15 minutes there. Plus crossing time, not too bad in the end. Yeah, still ridiculous. Right, so here we are, back on the trail. I'm tired of this estuary, it's been here too long. 5 miles, and I have 4 hours to do that in. I think I can probably manage that. So yeah, there you go. It's amazing what a lunar gravitational assist will do for you. I feel quite invigorated. So yeah, if anyone is watching this who's Googled for Southwest Coast Path crossing the Erme and accidentally found this video instead, I think my advice would be flip-flops, because bloody hell those stones hurt. It's like walking across a bed of cold coals, particularly on this side. It's all sand and fun and games on the far side, but as you get nearer this side it all gets sharper and sharper. And of course with the extra backpack weight it doesn't help at all. But remarkably, it was a different kind of pain to the pain my hiking has been causing my feet. So, I don't know, largely hasn't made anything worse, let's put it that way. So, yeah, there it is. The Erme. I think it probably would have been even easier. I got shin deep, I think. And although it was quite confusing. There's a bit of a push to it. I found going sideways and sort of side saddling like a crab helped. Face upstream and just step sideways across the faster moving bits. Try not to look directly down across the fast moving bits either, because the ground's confusing and all wibbly. But yeah, it's a bit chilly, but nothing sort of, you know, I don't have to go and wrap my feet in foil and huddle around a stove for 5 hours now. Good to go. And I'll tell you, this is going to soon warm my feet up. A 4 mile sprint with a few breaks. I say sprint, you know, it's all relative. So there we go, the Erme estuary, a place I spent far longer than I'd liked. All right, I need to get some miles down. Wow, out of one landscape into another. It's rather windy up here. It's about the same as yesterday, hot, sunny, rather stronger wind, which is good. It's keeping me cool. I'm to sort of cup a hand over the mic. I don't know if you can hear it or not. But I did have some of those little fluffy things you put over the top. I think that's just going a bit overboard, to be honest. Yeah, the trouble with this wind is it does seem to rather be blowing me towards the edge of the cliff. Cheeky. So I have to be a bit careful. But yeah, it's a welcome change from yesterday's stifling heat. It's good now, good marine feel to the place. It needs to be windy when you're on the coast, I think. It's just wrong otherwise. Alright, down there and up there, and then we'll see what we can see. Can you hear this at all? It's pretty windy up here. Got the hat tied onto the shirt, tied onto the rucksack. Anyway, that's Big Beyond Sea. That's the end of yesterday, I suppose. Confused with where my stages are now, so I'm not going to bother worrying about it. Yeah, just another big drop and a climb, and then down the other side and into the village. As discussed lots, it's only 1:13 now. I think I could probably get there before 4, hopefully a bit before 4, and I can stop and get some food and drink. I tell you, if this wind keeps up, it's going to be a problem tonight. I'm going to have to find somewhere pretty cunning to put the tent, I think, otherwise it's going to get blown away. Weather thing says it's only 16 miles an hour, but I just don't believe that. It seems stronger. And yes, lots of near cliff edge excitement this afternoon rather. One sort of adversity to the next, really. Anyway, I've no idea if you can hear this at all, so I'm going to stop. Yeah, gone. No idea what it was. Some sort of aeroplane. So that's Salcombe Bay. Some sort of holiday resort thing with a beach shop. And then up there's Big Beyond Sea, just on that next bit there. There's an island off of Big Beyond Sea. Coast Path doesn't go on there, so I'm not going on there either. And the ferry's the other side of Big B. Doing alright for time, but I really ought to stop and just get a drink. There's wind! It's relentless. I don't know where it's come from, but it is a stay for the next 2 days. I don't even know if you can hear me at all. Oh, God. Let's get into some cover. Some such island. Birdie Island. Don't know. Big old hotel on there. They got one of them sort of high tide perambulator tractor trailer jobs. There's no actual road onto it. Nice if you can afford it, I suppose. I don't know, public aren't allowed on there. Wander around it. Not me though. God, look at the dust coming off that car park. Yeah, still windy. I'm still trekking. I really want to get that ferry. Apparently there is a pub the other side of the ferry. Once I get across, I may sit there for an hour or two, just trembling weekly. Oh, here we are, Bantham Ferry. Kind of thrashed myself a bit hard to try and get here because I panicked about how far outside town it was. So I've got 51 minutes to recover, and that's the last ferry of the day. Although I don't know how it's going to work. Look how out that tide is. Unless it's some kind of, like, you know, amphibious vehicle or something, I might have to just walk most of the way out. I have no idea. Signs up, £4 seems standard. Hope he's got change. So I can find that much money. God. Yeah, today's been a bit of a kicker, really, all in all. Like mucking about on the river. Quite a lot of strenuous work between here and there as well. And it's effectively been a half day, so you know it's going to be about 4 o'clock by the time I cross here. I think there's a pub on the other side which I might try and, you know, just collapse in for an hour or two, but I just don't know how much further on beyond they're going to go either. How I'm going to get. Nowhere near Salcombe, I shouldn't think, today, so that's the original itinerary shot. Doesn't matter, I suppose, but this wind's concerning though, because I mean I'm going out onto a headland now, which I think if I get far enough out on the headland it'll act as a wind shadow, because this is coming from the east and the approach onto the headland faces to the west, so it might be alright, but I don't know. Don't think I'm going to sleep well tonight. And then yeah, hopefully I'll get to Salcombe tomorrow, although in theory, I don't know about itineraries or anything anymore. It's been a really hard week, a bit draining. On the plus side, I think I've lost an arse size. So I don't know, wait till about 4 and then just start waving and see what turns up. I'm hoping some giant Victorian device made of stilts and steam engines, but you know, we'll see. I don't know who this dog is, but it's been following me for the last mile and a half. Presumably belongs to someone. Bugger off. It doesn't belong to me. Go and find your owner. Bale twine for a collar. It's not a good sign. I'm not a dog person, really. My experience of dogs on the coast path so far has been mostly exasperated owners shouting at them all the time, and then dog, you know, just dejectedly following along behind them carrying a small bag of shit in their hands. So, you know. And then, yes, obviously overloaded bins full of shit, and that's just the ones that pick the stuff up. Stuff that's just lying on the side of the path along a lot of the way as well. People just leave it there. I think we have too many dogs, to be honest. I think beyond certain very specific applications in livestock management and security guard airport stuff, I think there's enough dogs. Anyway, enough about that. I'm quite cross and grumpy. The cats are alright, but only because you can take or leave them, they do their own thing. But, bloody hell, I was just up by that white house like less than 15 minutes ago. Pushed myself so hard to get here in case I've missed it, and I don't even know what the deal is now. Somebody in that boat over there waving at us. Don't know. Is that the ferry? No idea what's going on. So the pub was closed. Opens at 6. I don't know why I'm surprised. Burger van there, closed. Wind keeps howling. So right, I'm off then. I mixed a lot here. Big Bree sucks. Don't ever come here. Hope Cove, ironically named. It's been rush today, it really has. I've been just pushing and stopping and waiting and pushing and stopping, and I haven't really had time to enjoy myself much at all today, frankly. But that's the last ferry sorted. That's that weird harbour master. It's actually the harbour master of Bentham, as a sideline in giving people lifts across the river for £4. It was like landing on some sort of Navy SEALs assault craft. Beached it, out we jumped. Right, so that That's the 5th out of 6 rivers I've now sort of dealt with. One in Salcombe to deal with. I have to hit Salcombe before 5 PM of a given day. And that's about, I don't know, 10 miles, 12, something like that. Yeah, I feel a touch of the old despair coming on. I'm going to have to basically keep moving now then, because at the moment I'm at Big Beyonce still, more or less. That's it over there. And that's basically the sort of beginning of this day. Yeah, I know that's all gone out the window, but I need to get a bit more progress before I try and camp somewhere precariously on a wind-swept cliff top with 16-mile-an-hour winds trying to kill me. Hopefully I can find somewhere sheltered. I'm going to try and make it to Hope, to Outer Hope, Hope Cove, whatever. Maybe find something there. Because the darker it gets and the more desperate I get, the less choosy I get and less discreet I get about wild camping. You know? Just bollocks, put it down here, so what? Yeah, rest me. You start to think a night in the cell might be quite comfortable. But on the plus side, I queued up outside what must be the most busy car park in a toilet in the world. Shuffled in there, managed to fill my 2 black water bottles again, so at least I won't die of dehydration on the next stage. So I'm going to press on up the hill against my better judgment. Behold the sea with happy memories. Brian Anthony Lamb, 1939 to 2014, our treasured husband, dad, Gaggum and friend. There you go. Oh, another bench of the dead. So I'm currently, I don't know, carrying on. Right, so my plan at the moment. So really, that boat trip was what I set out to absolutely have to have done today. However, there is still another boat trip to do, Salcombe, which is around the end of that headland and on some, don't know, another 10 miles or so from Big B, and I've doing a little bit of that now. But basically all the more miles I can get done today, this evening, and it is still only about minutes past 4. Hello, swipe that way, yeah. Yeah, so it seems I got to the ferry quite a lot earlier and it just was there anyway, so that gave me a jump on about 50 minutes worth. So I'm going to try and get to the white thing over there, which is Outer Hope. Find the name whimsical. And I'm going to see if I can find a B&B there, to be honest, because I'm getting a bit sick of it all. And also this wind is going to be hell on that peninsula. That headland's going to be all cliff tops and not much greenery or trees or hedges or anything. I think I'm going to have a hard time finding anything shortly after Outer Hope. Of course, I'm setting myself up for failure as usual. It's obviously I'm going to get there. Oh no, sorry, we haven't got any rooms. Oh no, you need to have booked online first, etc., etc. COVID or whatever. So at that point, I might just like break down and start crying in front of them, see if that helps. But failing that, then I'm just going to carry on trucking up the other side and just camp somewhere really flipping dangerous and probably die in the night. So that's my plan at the moment, anyway. But yeah, losing the will to everything at the moment. I wouldn't recommend doing this week as a week, to be honest. I recommend breaking it into 2 weeks and doing it at a more leisurely pace. That way you've got time to fart about with ferries and boats and bloody high tide river crossings, you know. Still, there you go. I expect one day I'll look back on all this and laugh. So, but I'm still sort of on schedule at the moment. I'm just not relishing the night in a tent with this kind of wind blowing. I mean, hopefully once we get over to where all the white buildings are, that whole shape of land there will act as a kind of windbreak, because it is coming from that direction. So the top of the hill should cast a bit of a wind shadow. I've experienced this phenomenon myself when I needed some breeze earlier in the week. So that's what I hope anyway. But we're just going to keep trotting on. I think when I get to glowy white cottages over there, if I find a pub that's open, I'm going to stop for a bit anyway, because I just need something. Otherwise it's just another night of cashew nuts and amaretto and sobbing in a hedge. So yeah, I might do a package tour next time. Baggage forwarding, all that. Oh God, it's a roller coaster, it really is. Right, so I need to keep going before the sun sets. I've got about 3.5 hours now, and that's apparently 3.5 miles away, so I can keep 1 mile an hour going, including sitting on a bench and wondering what I'm doing here, then we're all good. Okay, signing off for a bit. Oh God, we go down there. It's got flags on. A burger van. This is pizza. I could eat whole pizza. Bar. Oh, I don't care what my schedule is. If that thing's open when I get there, I am going to stop and have a lot of stuff. It still looks open. Will it still be open by the time I get there? Can I cut that ground in time? Everything I've been to so far has been closed because of this stupid schedule. Alright, here we go. I honestly thought this was a mirage as I was approaching.
Yeah, thanks.
So now it's 6 o'clock and this is Hope Cove. There's a big Hope Fancy Hotel on the top there. I'm probably a bit underdressed for that. It's like a pub or something that's that looks like it's been condemned. Yeah, there's a lot of scaffolding, unless that's just some sort of COVID one-way system. What I'm really thinking is that far hillside where the path comes up out of the thing and probably goes through that bit of woods, then on to the moors to carry on round. Do not want to carry on round, but that bit of wooded hillside might do me well. About an hour and a half till sunset. Take me about an hour and a half to cross through and out the other side of this place, I expect. Don't actually need anything. I've had a big meal and a lot of drink. Got more or less full water bottles. Could just crack on through. Not even bother presenting my credentials at the hotel. See how that works. A lot of cars in that car park. They probably haven't got room anyway. They'll take one look at me and no, I think we're busy, which is fair enough. They're prerogative, but I think that far hillside, the path goes out of the village, the far hillside through the trees. And that'll be tomorrow's problem. So I think that far hillside with the trees might be a bit concerned tonight is the wind, mostly. It's blowing off the cliff. And it's about 15-16 miles an hour and shows no sign of slowing down at all tonight, so we'll have to be careful with the tent bit. I've got some trees to break it all up, bit of shelter. It's a different method. I can do my usual thing, slightly off to one side of the path, be gone early in the morning, that sort of thing. It's probably the best bet I've got going for me at the moment, so I'm going to crack on through this village and have a look. No me? No, just enjoying the evening air. I'll be moving on very soon. This isn't actually the Southwest Coast path either, it's a forked path, local footpath that comes off it from down that way. Goes up the hill. So even less traffic, I'm hoping. Local dog walkers, I suppose, but like I say, up at the crack of dawn. This fulfills my criteria for shelter though. I'm pretty sure this hill's in a bit of a wind shadow from the prevailing anyway. Well, not prevailing, the unusual easterly winds. But we got plenty of trees and things to break it up as well, so I'd feel safe pitching here. Oh, what day! So yeah, past a sign just down the bottom of the village there that says Salcombe 7.5. So that's good. I must have done about 4 or 5 miles since Bigby on sea. So that's good. It's not, you know, I mean, ideally tomorrow morning I would have just strolled into Salcombe to pick up some breakfast, but time and tide have been absolute bastards. So lucky to get there tomorrow at all, I think. 7.5 miles, remember 5 p.m. last ferry at Salcombe, so 7.5 miles if I'm up at the usual 8 o'clock or so, 9, well yeah, by the time I packed and stowed and got underway. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives me 9 hours to do 7.5 miles. I'm feeling confident. Hoping to meet a friend as well. He's coming down to meet me, I think, if he can work out where I am, because I am, pretty off grid. Yeah, quiet, he says. Being interrupted by a walker. Didn't say anything. Just nodded. Refuge in audacity. I expect he'll be back before dark. Or go back a different way before dark. Whatever. And if he can come up here in the middle of the night with a torch and catch me sleeping, then more power to his arm. But I'm only going to be here one night. Away in the morning. Oh. Yeah. Quite a lengthy day. And a half day as well, because of the stupid river. And then I had to rush to get my boat across the flipping Bantham ferry as well. That burger van, that was crazy. I thought I was hallucinating. Just like, or probably in gourmet sort of, festival catering type, country fair type van. It had real juicy burger, the chips were really well done. It was probably ingredients all in there as well. I mean, it's 15 quid for a burger, chips and 2 cans of fizzy drink, but I just don't care. And they were worth it, so yeah, it's good. It was so worth it. In fact, I went back for a little tiny tub of ice cream and another fizzy drink. So I think I am pretty full, pretty nutritionalised for the night and day ahead. Because I just don't, with the heat and the water and the hydration and everything, it's just playing hell with my appetite, I think. And also, every time I get anywhere, it's been closed. Or not open yet. So, between all that and the rushing to catch various ferries and stuff, I've just been basically just bowling straight through pretty much every little coastal seaside village in the South Devon at the moment. Not stopping to take the time to stand and stare or buy an ice cream. So, yeah, it's just relentless this week. I mean, I don't know about my general fitness anyway. I can't remember. I suppose the week 5 I probably picked up a bit of a foot sore thing quite early on for rushing. But I don't remember this from weeks 1 through 4. And I'm pretty sure I had a similar kind of weight bag then. So I don't know. But there's just the stop-start worrying and, oh no, I don't have time to stop. Powering on, beyond when I would normally prefer to take a stop and a rest. Maybe sit for an hour even, just chill, take in the scene. No time for any of that this week, because it's a ridiculous schedule. And I don't know, maybe you get lucky with the tide time on crossing the Erme, but in general the boats are all seasonal, finger quotes, which basically means they pack up at 4 o'clock. And they're about 15 mile apart usually, so you've got to really push, otherwise you're going to miss your boat, and then the whole thing slips by a day. As we saw at the Elm. I mean, that's basically, very early on I adopted the strategy of just getting pretty much up to the boat and then camping, so that I'd always get the first one. But then, today I had to effectively get 2 boats in one day, the first boat being, my own feet, tide times, just shattering, it really is. So I'm going to kip here, and I don't give a toss who gives an objection, frankly. I'm just too tired to move on. And also I don't want to move on, because beyond the end of that bit of forest there is the naked exposed headland, Bolt's Tail or something. And then it goes on round south, and it's all pretty up country, cliff top, windswept, nothing. And this 16 mile an hour easterly wind hasn't shown any sign of slowing down today. So these trees are probably going to be a lifesaver, thinking about it. So yes, I'm going to camp here, and I don't mind who knows it. But I'll try and be discreet, I don't want to cause any trouble, I don't want any aggro. It's just me, my tent. I don't think how you'd do this as wild camping with a party, if there's like 5 or 6 of you all trooping your way around the trail. That's a lot of tents. It's a lot of flat space to find. I can generally get away with path-side margins, much like this fine example here. That's just about right size to fit my tent in without actually blocking the path, which I try not to do. But there's like 6 of you. Yeah, you're going to have to do campsites if there's a big party, I think. And there's not many campsites about. They're not really at convenient day stages for a start. A lot of them are closed because of COVID. It's not cost effective. It's not worth their time and their effort to put the additional expense in to make COVID precautions, so they just sooner close instead, like the one we tried up at Derry Down. So yeah, I'm fairly unapologetic about what I do. I don't try to cause any trouble. I don't seek to, I'm not doing it to smash the system or anything. It's just what I do in my quiet little way. But and so far I haven't actually had any aggro. No one's shaken the canvas and told me to clear off at well, I mean, basically the way you do that is if nothing's seen, nothing heard, that sort of thing. You make sure you put up. You make sure you wait until it's pretty much twilight before you get set up. Very important to know how to use your tent. I can do mine in the dark now. I probably ought to rip out that instruction sheet that's inside the bag. It just keeps flapping around and getting in the way. I don't need it. I can do this in the dark by touch pretty much now. And then, be respectful. No one mind. The reason wild camping laws exist is because either idiot youngsters all turn up with a massive bag of firewood and a whole load of cheap festival throwaway tents and just make an absolute trash of the place with beer cans and burnt circles everywhere. It just takes a few people to spoil it for everyone, so I try not to be one of those people. I make sure I never bring cooking gear. Don't need it. This is Cornwall, it's not, the northwest Ontario or anything. I'm not hunting for bear or anything. Despite the weird timings this week, my inability to stop because I need to catch the next boat, that's not typical, that's just this week. But ordinarily there's an ice cream shop every 3 or 4 miles on average around the southwest coast path, and there'll be a pub every pub selling decent pub grub on average every 6 to 8 miles usually. There's some sort of bleak bits where you need to carry a few nuts in a bag, but you don't need a frying pan, a tea kettle, a Primus stove, cooking oil, cutlery, utensils, some sort of washing up equipment. It just really, really bulks up. You don't need it. You can get teas and coffees en route, generally. And if I was doing something particularly adventurous across the Russian steppe or the outback of Australia, then I might have to think differently about my provisioning. But so just dispense with all that cooking gear. Don't need it. And that's part of the mess that gets left behind that people don't like as well. So, and I mean, I don't even have a torch. I don't have a torch. Well, I have a torch for emergencies and tucked away in one of my bags. That's how if I have to walk along a road at night. But you should know your own kit well enough to be able to find everything you need in the dark and put it on or use it in the dark. And there you go. You got a small canvas rhomboid perched in a bit of forest or a hillside somewhere. There's not even a blink of light. No one knows you're there. So you put up as it's getting dark. You might get accidentally seen by a late dog walker or whatever, but generally they don't care. And then you set your alarm for daybreak, whatever that happens to be. It's about 6:58 today here. And actually I haven't been waking up before the alarm anyway, because I'm just not that comfortable in my tent generally. But as soon as you can see your hand in front of your face inside the tent, it's light enough outside to see things, so you start packing up and on your way. Flat patch of grass, nothing else. No one can mind that, surely. I don't know. I think it's about the discretion, isn't it? You've got to play ball. You've got to want to help, even though you're part of the problem. You don't want to make it much more of a problem than you absolutely have to. That's the thing. So like I say, I'm just setting here for an unusually long rest, and we'll be carrying on through the night. But crikey, I don't even know what day it is now of the trip. Day might be 6. Depends if you count the first half day as well. Although I kind of blew that half day lead out by having to sit around next to the river and waiting for it to cooperate. So I'm sort of pretty much back on original schedule really. So probably a Saturday finish. I'll have to, but I think I'll probably get to Torcross too late on Saturday. Well, I don't know, 5 p.m. I think. It's my last connection out of Torcross. Unless I can prevail on my local friend to give me a lift to a station, Newton Abbot or Totnes, one of those two, to connect onto the main line. Well, I'm very much looking forward to being home. Is that a good holiday or a bad holiday when it teaches you how much that you've been taking your home for granted? I don't know. It's probably not what most people mean when they say holiday. No, could do with a few weeks back at work. Whew. But I think I will do it. I just don't know about the precise time finishing date now. can't see it going on into Sunday, or if it is, it'll be wake up Sunday morning, walk into the nearest village, which is Torcross, get on a bus as soon as one turns up. But yeah, I think it might. I don't know. Just thinking, I want to spend a bit of time loafing around in a coastal pub with me mate, you know, but that's not going to be on the cards really with this kind of tight schedule. I'll have to see what happens tomorrow. I think he's coming to meet me at some point along the trail tomorrow, so maybe there'll be a pub lunch. If I can get across the Salcombe ferry, that's the key. Get to the other side of the Salcombe ferry, and then there's no more rivers, no more boats, no more must get here. I mean, ultimately there is a I must get home, but that's a lot more flexible. There are a lot more options for that. There's a lot of different buses out of Torcross, and if it really comes to it, I will just shell out like 50 quid for a taxi back to Newton Abbot or something. Totnes. And then the trains, there's lots of trains running. I was worrying about smelling on the train. I was going to, because I haven't showered all week. Yeah, personal hygiene habits, lovely. Normally I'd B&B halfway through, but I just didn't want to stop in Plymouth, to be honest. Yeah, and suddenly I'm in this habit of just wild camping. I've quite a amount of personal pride to see if I can actually do every night of one of these weeks as a wild camp. I'm on track so far, like 6 for 6 or something. I'm going to be, I mean, I changed clothes halfway through, as you can see, the more observant of you, but it hasn't really helped a lot. And these got pretty filthy pretty quickly as well. So. At least these don't actually have mud smeared all down the side. It's not a great look to rock up to a national rail station. But yeah, so I'm going to be sat on the train, looking and smelling like I do. And then I thought, well, no, hang on, everyone else is going to be wearing masks. So there's a COVID silver lining for you. No one's going to know what I smell like. I hope. Anyway, so rambling on and on. It's still not quite dark enough yet. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the quiet for a bit and then do the usual. But in case we don't speak again, I shall see you tomorrow. Bye bye.